This is by no means a tutorial. Hey, it's Cecil, and if all editing goes according to plan, it is Monday, and yes, I have missed, like one Monday. It has been a week. I've had migraines, and stomach aches, and just not so fun times, but we are here. We have made it to this day that is 12 days from Christmas. I think that everything is going to be okay. I'm not going to say smooth sailing because that's definitely not true. I have been streaming almost every day and will stream at least 24 days throughout this month on Twitch, so if you want to check that out, the link will be in the description box below. But without further ado, so as you may have noticed from some of my videos, I have these teeny tiny Tsukushima and Yamaguchi plushies from some of my partners, and I love them. I think they're very cute, and I want them in my background for the holiday season because why not? And I thought, what better way to make an excuse for them to be in my background than to make them teeny tiny Santa hats. So I found a pattern on Pinterest, which I will link in the description box as well. I've got some red yarn, I've got some white yarn. I have this crochet hook that is 3.75 millimeters. What I was looking for was 4 millimeters, and I figured smaller was probably better than bigger just because I'm making something tiny. So I've got those, I've got my scissors, I've got a makeshift little piece of cardboard for making the pom-pom thing at the end of the hat, and we're gonna chat, we're gonna have fun. I am going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then I'm gonna do 6 single chains into the, or 6 single crochets into the first chain. And while I do that, let's chat. So, like I said, it's been quite the week and a half for me. I've been having these migraines and these stomach aches, which, you know, are partly anxiety related. I know it's 'tis the season for that seasonal anxiety and depression. Yay. Um, that just is what it is. I have a doctor's appointment today. Not for that. It's a wellness visit. That I have like a bazillion things to squeeze into a half hour to bring up with my doctor. So that's gonna be fun. Now I've got to admit I've been a little bit bad about wellness visits. I really haven't gone since I haven't gone in like 3 years for a wellness visit. It truly has been a time. We're getting to the point where we start doing a single crochet increase. Something that's probably helpful is having a stitch marker so you can like go through and figure out which round is which round, but we like to live dangerously over here, so also I don't have any. Not that I can easily find at the very least, so you know. Is what it is, but hey look, the circle continues to circle. Whoa, nice. I've actually never used such a small crochet hook. I feel like the one that I use is usually about twice this size, maybe even a little bit bigger. I usually do big things, but this is for a tiny little head. So I think I mentioned briefly that there's been this stray cat that keeps walking in and out of my house. And we found him a home with our neighbor, but our neighbor's cats don't like him either, and so he ended up escaping. And now he just keeps coming back into our house. And our cats are slowly but surely getting used to him being in and out because, you know, he's not ours. We're not forcing him to stay. And he's a sweet cat. He's just, you know, he's a baby compared to ours. And even the kittens, you know, they're 3 years old now. They're past their social maturity, which means that they've kind of really established who they are amongst each other, and having an outsider has just been like real stressful for them. And so there's been a lot of like screaming. That's it. I mean, they don't actually like physically fight. So that's good at the absolute least, but it's quite a lot for me and for my mom. And so we're kind of like reaching that point where we're like, okay, boy truly, he needs a forever home. We'll keep fostering him kind of as much as we can. So, as long as this is actually going the way that it's supposed to be going, I've only got one more round of red to do, which is exciting. And I'm thinking that I'm going to do this one that is exactly on the pattern with Suki because I feel like it'll fit his head a little bit better than Yamaguchi's because Yamaguchi has like the quiff, or not quiff, has the colic and all that we're like, working around, and I'm just not sure it'll fit. I might make his a little bit bigger. They're also from two different brands, so I think that Yamaguchi is like a little bit bigger of a plushie than Tsukushima is. So I'm guessing that it would be like following the exact same pattern that's kind of been going on where it just gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. Like I said, I will include the pattern down below in case you want to see what I was doing, what I was aiming for, how badly I failed, or how well I did. I guess only time will tell us that. I am basically planning on uploading a video every single day from now until New Year's Eve, which I have no idea how that's going to end up working out, but hopefully it'll work out nicely. A lot of it is going to be just sped up footage from, or sped up or cut down depending on what the video is, but it'll be footage from my streams, which at least is something less for me to have to record. So I'm quite looking forward to that. Another thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting back to BookTube, which is a little bit scary, and I don't know why. I mean, technically, I'm not going back to BookTube. I'm going back to AuthorTube, for starters. I want to do the AuthorTube Christmas tag, which is basically asking or answering a bunch of festive questions about your characters. This is stitch number 3. I'm saying that more for my benefit than for yours. And I think that that's quite fun. I'll do that about the protagonist of the book I've been writing since I was 15. Just 11 more stitches to go, and then we will be finishing off the red. The bobby pin in my hair I'm going to use to kind of weave in the tail end of the yarn. And so that is all for the red. I'm hoping that because all of the white will kind of be, I mean, okay, it is triangular when you flatten it the way that this is. So I'm thinking that once we get the white on, that'll kind of hatify it. I mean, it already is rather hat-like, right? So surely? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And if I have to start over, then I have to start over. And this is a flop video. And hey, then you watched me struggle for nothing. But hey, that's its own kind of fun, isn't it? Now, the white yarn is pretty simple. We are just going to create the base of the hat with 3 rounds, just doing a single crochet. Can I just tell you about my day while I ready my yarn? Because I have to admit, I feel kind of neurotypical passing right about now. I woke up at like 5:30 because I had to feed the creatures, and creatures wait for no man to be done sleeping. But I actually feel I'm putting this bobby pin now to hold where the stitches. But yeah, I woke up at about 5:30. So that was a thing that indeed happened. That's not abnormal or anything, but I actually feel relatively awake, which I'm a little nervous about, to be honest. Mostly just a lack of trust in my own ability to stay awake, but so far so good. I'm hoping that carries over enough to feel alive during my doctor's appointment today. But that's at like 6:30. So if I end up needing a nap between like now, it's only 12:40, and then I think it'll be okay. I had 2 glasses of water before I had any coffee. I ate breakfast at a decent time. I'm actually starting to get hungry for lunch at like an actual lunchtime. It's wild. But yeah, like I was able to take it easy. I woke up. I practiced some of my crochet stitches so that I would know what I was doing, more or less, a little bit. I took a Honestly, we are killing the game. The game is dead because I killed it. Uh, of course, we're only about halfway through the day, so who knows how the rest will go. But I'm hoping that we will continue on some high notes. Yeah, this part is easy, especially having the stitch marker, so that I don't need to put as much brain power into counting. Um, that is one thing with all of the slowly building and all of that. It's very nice to have learned my times tables so that I didn't have to like completely think too hard on that one. I am starting to get tired, probably just from the brain work of like remembering how to multiply certain things and you're like, when will I ever use math in real life? This is when you'll use math in real life, so stay in school so that you don't kill your brain trying to crochet a tiny Santa hat for your tiny plushie of Tsukishima K from Haikyuu. Because you know that really specific instance that applies to everybody and is definitely why everyone needs math? Yeah. I don't know. I think I might do a couple more. Or at least one more. What do you think? One more? I think I'm going to do one more. That is a tiny Santa hat for you. Oh yeah. Look at this. Look at this. I'm definitely pleased with my decision to add an extra row of white. I think that was very much the move. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, and all we have to do now is the pom-pom. And then it'll be done. If you don't have a pom-pom maker, you take something like this, a piece of cardboard, and then you take your yarn and you wrap it around it, a whole bunch. Then you take another piece of string to wrap around it, right? To tie what's on the cardboard. You slide that off of the cardboard. Have I mentioned this isn't a tutorial? Because this is not a tutorial. I'm telling you what I'm doing. That doesn't necessarily make it right. You take the other string, right? And you tie it around. I'm wrapping it around twice because I found that doing it too loosely wasn't quite good enough. Doing it too tightly was a little too much, you know. So we're finding the balance here. So this will be this piece. Yeah. Anyways, for the rest of the pieces, you take scissors and you just kind of snip. Then you do the same through this side where you go through the middle of all the loops. Obviously this, actually, it's not ridiculous. I was expecting that to be much bigger. This isn't as ginormous as I was kind of thinking it would be. So I'm going to go through and like snip any of the loops that are still looped. And then you kind of just go through and snip it down so that it's all even. The 1 or 2 strings that you kind of start with, you want to keep those longer because that will go into attaching it to the rest of the hat. Kind of got this, right? Okay, it's a little ball. It's good enough. It's not perfect, but to be fair, I only learned how to do this today. So for having only learned how to do this today, I'd say it's pretty darn good. So from that, we've got to attach it to the hat. We're kind of gonna attach this to the top of the hat, right? As for how, I couldn't tell you. Then, oh, it has a little poof, and it's a little, oh, even if it doesn't look like a Santa hat, it still looks like a cute little hat. It's a cute little hat! It's not exactly what I was expecting it to look like, but I'm still very happy with how it turned out. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and you can leave a comment below if you'd like to see me do silly little crafty project things like this again, where I don't totally know how the outcome is going to come out, but we will find out together. You can follow me in the links in the description box below, as well as maybe even hopping onto our Discord server if you would like updates and all of that stuff about what's going on and why there's changes in schedule and what the schedule even is. Be your bro, share this video with another bro, and if you have not done so yet, subscribe because, hey, I am going to be making quite a few videos over the course of this month.